ground, but I ain't getting any higher.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for downloading the Voice of Bedlam podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Santoro. We got a great show planned for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed that little live show from Mother's Bedlam's Fantasy Draft presented by DraftKit.com. We'll get to more of that later. Let's get to the co-host for now, and let's get things moving with Devil John.
Yeah, Mother's was fun. As you guys got to see, we were all eating some good food. Got to play some pool. And although he's not here to defend my statement, Sean got to see how good I can be at the game of pool. But we also have, one of the other Johnsonses on the show.
I didn't know my last name changed. Did I get married and take somebody's last name?
Well, it's like when you. It's like when you pluralize. Pluralizing the Johnsonses.
So how you doing, Colin?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just looking at my fantasy team and just sighing. Just so proud. So proud of it.
So proud that
sigh of relief that it's so good.
So proud that you had to hit the waiver line like immediately after the draft. Like,
yeah, it's we all make one bad pick that we want to correct.
Yeah, well, it's.
And who was that? Shane Vereen, New York Giants?
I dropped Shane Vereen for Terrence West, who's cementing himself what should be a pretty nice role in the Ravens running back. When Justin Forsett hasn't been anything in 2 years, and you got Kenneth Dixon, they're not showing anything. Give me some Terrence West, former Browns, out with a vengeance.
Wow.
Now wait, before we get into football, and we're gonna get into plenty of football.
Yeah, I think the neighbor has what you think is an incense. Just wafting into your window. You might want to close that if you're thinking that, dude.
But I got a bone to pick with you guys, right? So,
right.
Okay, so I guess 2 shows ago, last Thursday, we had Mike Blanks from Blank 77 on, and then the punk rock block party was happening right in Allentown, right after our little thing at Mother's, and we were all supposed to go, and then we were supposed to have a little after party at my house. Now, I went, and I had an after party at my house, but you guys just weren't there, and neither was Sean. So what happened with that? Colin, I'm being told that you were with your mommy. Were you with your mommy during the after party?
No, I went out to the bar in Easton because I didn't realize you called me until like 3 hours later.
Well, I'm pretty sure I heard the real story, and that's not it. Because let's think, we were at a bar, so you wouldn't have had to go to another bar. John, what's your excuse?
My excuse, honestly, was that I just crashed. I fell asleep. I old manned it in the sense I just went and I was like, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. I put my phone by my head, slept through it.
Yeah, but it was a good time, both at Mother's, the show, and also the nice little gathering at my house afterwards. But
which it sounded like you still had fun. So
I still trust
you guys
that you didn't even need John and I.
Yeah, you guys didn't.
See, what happened was in my subconscious, I had an outer body experience, and I was here, and I saw the craziness. I was like, "Yo, let's turn this party up. Turn down for what?" Nobody knew I was even here. And then I came out and I went back into my body. But then I woke up, and then I realized I needed some orange juice.
Orange juice, much orange juice. Got to replenish. All right, but let's get to why we're here, and that is the NFL. Now, first of all, now we're going to go a little off the cuff today, a little shooting from the hip. We're going to roll things off with the Giants because I am happy. As I predicted, Victor Cruz not being a New York Giant, it looks like I'm wrong because Victor Cruz has practiced all week and seems to be set to start this Saturday for Week 3 preseason action, the dress rehearsal for the season against crosstown rivals, New York Jets. What do you think, Colin? Now, of course, I got plenty to say on Cruz, but we'll hold for that. What do you think about Cruz' probable return, Colin?
I mean, I know he hasn't really done anything in the NFL for 18 months or so. I think his last game was actually an Eagles game in Philadelphia.
Yes, it was.
The man, busted his knee, right?
Patella tendon.
Yeah, so that's a rough turnaround. So 18 months later, Victor Cruz has got a lot to prove that he still belongs on his team. Obviously, the Giants went on. They drafted a wide receiver in the second round, so they're.
Sterling
I don't
Shepard.
think. Yeah, so Sterling Shepard will probably start on the outside. Victor Cruz has a lot to prove. I think. He was such a popular face for the Giants and Giants fans. I don't think that he's in danger of losing a roster spot. I think the Giants owe him at least that. But this is a show-me year for Victor Cruz. He needs to stay healthy. And I think even if he stays healthy, if he puts up moderate numbers, then his NFL career will continue. Maybe not in New York, but he's really playing for his career right now, I would think. What do you think, John?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would have to
You're
say
not,
so.
John.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't think he's ever going to return to the shape where he would need to be that Victor Cruz that you guys acquired in the beginning.
Now, I see where you're coming from. That's logical. But I saw the highlights. Granted, it's practice. I was shocked. I was flat out shocked the way he had burst and his cuts, and I did not think he would be that fast anymore. I didn't. Now, granted, I was watching a highlight reel, but even if those were the only highlights, which has been much talked about that they are not the only highlights, but even if they were, I was surprised he could do that much. And I'm telling you, even from the comments Ben McAdoo made prior to that, if he wasn't in action right now, he wouldn't be making it. He would not be making it. But with him this active, I mean, this looks really good. They're saying, Colin, you said it looks like they put Sterling Shepard on the other side, opposite of Beckham. Cruz has been playing mostly in the slot, which is where he had played best. But when he got that big contract, kind of started the demise of Hakeem Nicks. But when he got that big contract, started going to the outside a little bit more. Not that he didn't do good out there. He did fine, but he wasn't a highlight reel like he is in the slot, and that seems like where he'll be playing. And also Beckham and Shepard both look good for the slot. I am really excited for Giants football.
I got a question for both of you guys, since you are both NFC East fans. And ironically, since we're shooting from the hip, let's talk about the Cowboys seeing Tony Romo exiting early after taking a really big hit.
And in walks Dak Prescott. Now, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones said, before this injury happened, Jerry Jones said that due to Dak Prescott's play, the Cowboys' search for a veteran backup is over, which means the rookie won the backup spot for Tony Romo. Nice. And he has been playing great in the preseason. He's got a great offensive line. He's got a nice young running back. He has Dez Bryant on the outside. So even Jason Witten,
Williams, right?
Terrence and Beasley as well.
Cole.
So he's really walking into a nice situation. This kind of reminds me of maybe an Aaron Rodgers transition. Okay, this is the best thing that could happen for Cowboys fans. Now, granted, me personally, I would want to see Romo play first, have the rookie come in like week 6. That's going to be my opinion all the time, no matter what. Gotcha. But even if it seems like he's ready for the challenge, he's playing good in preseason, we got to get to the regular season. Cowboys make me nervous, but I'm betting on my Giants. Colin, what are you thinking about the boys in the South?
Because you have to play them twice.
I am no longer unafraid that, if Tony Romo goes down, then that opens up the division completely up for grabs again. Andrew, we were, as Giants and Eagles fans, both who had pretty bad years last year. If you and I were honest about it. Yet, until week 15, 16, there was that slight sliver of hope that we could still win this division. Somehow, some way, we can actually win, because when Tony Romo goes down, there's just a lot less talent around that Dallas team, and it really opened it up for, Washington, New York, and Philadelphia to battle it out. If you remember, even Jerry Jones said, we still got a shot when Tony Romo comes back, because it came back, week 12 or 13, and only to get hurt again. And
they were minus Dez.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, rough year for the whole division. I think the
Cowboys-
division.
the division opens up like that anymore.
I think every team in the division is going to be better, except for maybe you guys, except for maybe the Eagles.
Yeah, they got some rebuilding to do.
I'm actually. Go ahead.
I don't know though. I don't think the Redskins are going to get better. But if Kirk Cousins can pull a rabbit out of a hat and be serviceable for a second straight year, which honestly I think he can, then the Redskins could be as good as they were last year. I don't see the Redskins being better than they were last year.
Yeah, I was about to say, but you guys are both dealing with a brand new coach.
Yes.
So, the chances of, somebody messing up things, or, the chances of that are a little bit higher in the first year because people are adjusting to a new system and getting, even if they've worked together, there's still new parts coming in, and that gel, that gel factor that you need to make these plays work, isn't going to just come over, night.
See now,
Well, I do like Bob McAdoo just kind of picking up right where Coughlin left off with Steve Spagnuolo still in his defensive coordinator role. And I don't know how you feel about it, Andrew, but I am more confident in the Giants' ability to transition than I am with the Eagles right now.
Yeah, I would agree, and that's basically what I was going to say. Now, granted, we don't know how Ben McAdoo is as a head coach. He's 0-2 in the preseason. Not that really matters, but with McAdoo, he was the offensive coordinator. The biggest thing that he has to sync up with is Odell Beckham and Eli Manning, and he's got that down, so he's got that in his back pocket. Your team, it's really a huge, they're trying to say it's not a rebuild, but it's really a major rebuild. And, there's a lot of quarterback drama. Giants don't have the quarterback drama.
So what is the biggest element, though, that you see in the Giants that makes their transition a little bit more seamless?
Well, definitely the fact that McAdoo has worked with Eli for 2 straight years. He's the only coordinator Beckham has ever had up until now. Also, it's keeping the defense. They're not really changing things up. They're giving Spags another shot. It was a really poor showing last year. Not acceptable, but it was the first year. I think Spags should have another shot.
Yeah.
I think if it fails miserably this year, we need a new defensive coordinator, but I think he has this year, clean slate. I would completely agree. And also the coaching staff as a whole is mostly Tom Coughlin's coaching staff. They have 16 members or something like that. Don't quote me. You go to a voiceofbedlam.com article, the exact numbers in there somewhere, but they have about 14 or 16 of the same people, maybe not in the same role, but in the organization under
So,
a coach.
so it's just next man up.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Promotions all around.
Yes, exactly. With a couple
Promotions
new
all
faces.
around, people.
With a couple new faces.
Yeah, okay. So,
Now, Colin, what do you think? Give me a health update on Carson Wentz, will you?
yeah, what's up?
Carson Wentz has been throwing. He's thrown as recently as a couple days ago. Doug Peterson came out, and honestly, in a weird state of affairs, Peterson gave a press conference earlier this week saying Carson Wentz will not be throwing today. 2 hours later, Carson Wentz was speaking, and he's like, yeah, I'm throwing. Totally throwing today. And truth be told, he threw. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't think Doug Peterson knows exactly what's going on. There's no chance, in my opinion, that Carson Wentz will see the field before the regular season. I think that it would be wise for the Eagles to shut him down. But
For just the preseason, how much of the regular season do you think he should be shut down for?
that all depends on the effectiveness of Sam Bradford and the health.
Wait and see.
I don't think that Carson will play at all this rookie year unless Sam goes down and Chase Daniel just can't move the ball.
Now, that's kind of what I know, maybe under different circumstances, but you were in a separate camp than Sean, and you kind of wanted that to happen, correct? Like I would?
I would like to see Carson, but that's more so just from the curiosity standpoint. I don't have any problem with the Eagles holding him out for the entire year. Though I did write an article for voicebedlam.com which kind of broke down the likelihood of quarterbacks who are drafted in the first round who coaches aren't confident enough to start from week 1. Their winning percentage in the NFL, this is a study just done over the last 5 years. Otherwise, this would have been a novel that I would have to have written out. But the winning percentage goes way down for quarterbacks who don't start right away. Now, I'm not sure if that's just the talent isn't there and will never be there, or if it's just maybe you got to take your lumps and bruises right away in order to win. But I am
isn't that a rookie year? It's not starting off right away. That study was done if they don't play in their rookie year, correct?
No, this was week 1 rookie year.
Oh,
this
really?
was right off the bat. Yeah, that's what I was looking at for the winning percentage here. But you know what? I'm okay with it because I know I can easily say that if Sam Bradford wasn't given the $18 million a year, which happened about 2 months prior to the draft, then Carson Wentz would be given every opportunity to beat out Chase Daniel. But as luck would have it, or as fate would have it, Sam Bradford was signed way before the Eagles knew that they were going to be so high on Carson Wentz.
But I want to get back to that study because I also think, now you said the study was done in the past 5 years, and it says
Yes.
that if you don't play in week 1, your winning percentage is dramatically lower, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, but
I'm going to pull up the article as you talk.
But here's my problem with it. Here's my problem with it because I misunderstood it at first. I remember when this thing came out, and I remember when you did a post referencing it. Mm-hmm. But I was under the impression that it was the full rookie year. If it's just week 1, of course that's going to be it because you got to think of the people who are playing. The people in the past 5 years that didn't start in week 1 aren't starting, period. We're talking about people like Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, even guys like Sam Bradford, all the first rounds, Cam Newtons, all those people, the only quarterbacks that are in the league started in week 1 now that are of that age. You know what I'm saying? The people who didn't start in week 1 for the most part are names like Ryan Nassib, Giants backup, Jimmy Garoppolo, New England backup. You know, it's all the people.
Well, Jimmy's getting the start today.
This was only first round quarterbacks.
Oh, jeez, man. You keep throwing up all these
here we go. Here we go.
Right.
Let's talk about it real quick. All right, here are the quarterbacks who, in the last 5 years, so this is dating back to the 2011 draft, were drafted in the first round, and here's whether or not they have, or if they started first overall, or first week, and what their records are. So Cam Newton, first round, first overall. He's 45, 32, and 1. He started right from the get-go. Jake Locker was the second quarterback taken in that draft. He's only 9 and 14. He did not start right away. A Carson Wentz situation, and Jake Locker is out of the league.
Yes,
Blaine Gabbert was the third quarterback taken, 10th overall in that draft by the Jags. The dude is 8 and 27. And do you really think that Blaine Gabbert has any future in the NFL? Next is Christian Ponder. Like, do I need to go on?
No, that's a good point.
And yeah, Locker, Gabbert, and Ponder, none of them started game 1, week 1 of their rookie year. And Ponder is a backup now. Gabbert's might still somehow be starting for Chip, and Jake Locker is out of the league. I can't believe it. The next 2012 was the next year's draft. You got Luck, RG3, and Ryan Tannehill were the first 3 taken.
So you got 2 over there that are still somewhat.
But then the next one, Brandon Whedon, 6 and 19, though he also started week 1. He's an exception. Yeah, the Browns are just an outlier with anything that you look at.
I mean,
it's like a death sentence for quarterbacks.
To sum it up, quarterbacks who start right away in their careers thus far in the last 5 years, they're not over 500, but they're 144, 156, and 1, which is way more serviceable than the 58 and 100. Which is going to be the category that Carson Wentz finds himself
What's that,
in.
like a .25 winning percentage or something?
So the theory of hitting the ground and running is exactly where the league needs to go with these quarterbacks. It's like, all right, if you want to play pro football, then we need to see how you perform on the field.
I disagree.
I think you're right, John.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, that article is very interesting, but I think, when you go to school,
the numbers are there, though.
When you walk into high school, all right, so we're going to consider high school the NFL. They don't throw calculus at you the first day. I don't care what level of schooling you're at. Like if you're in AP classes, like most freshmen don't walk into a calculus math class on their first day, and that's what I think starting week 1 in the NFL is. I think a rookie should hopefully play his first year if he's a first overall pick. But I think there needs to be transition, and I'm always going to talk about Eli Manning and it went perfect.
I think that's I see where you're going with the reference, but I think it's a little. I think you're going a little too extreme because these players have played through different systems. They played through the Pop Warner systems. They played through the.
Well, you went to elementary school too.
The high school system, then the college system. And the college system is now geared almost more so to the pro system, so that the transition for most players is a little bit more of a fighting chance. But the numbers I don't know offhand, so I'm not going to even try to cite them. But I know that the survival rate from each tier, it's a smaller percentage as you go on. Like when you go from high school to college, you have a better chance of continuing. Mm-hmm. Once you get to college, then your chances of going pro are even smaller than they were from high school.
And then getting a second contract in the pros. Yeah, they do. I've heard there's like a PSA on that, like when they're like telling kids to like stay in school type deal.
Because everybody's like, well, I'm gonna be all right because I'm gonna be the next Kobe or I'm gonna be the next Steph Curry. Because I play a lot of pickup basketball to kind of try to keep myself in shape, I guess. Even though like I sweat like Patrick Ewing. Yeah, let's see, that's for all the old people out there that understand what I'm talking about.
I was watching Space Jams this weekend.
TMI.
Yeah, well, Patrick Ewing, like back in the Georgetown days, even like that dude was just like a walking like fountain of like sweat. Yeah. Like I just remember him being at the foul line and just like wiping his forehead off and just like going to like
Well, he's a big boy.
Yeah,
yeah, whatever it did, it worked for him.
Yeah, except
he got himself a starring role in Space Jam.
Exactly, but it didn't get a championship ring.
Yo, I'm pumped about Space Jams too. I heard about this like 2 years ago because LeBron did something with his contract, and Warner Brothers put in the name Space Jam's, like the patent or the trademark
Space
or whatever.
Jam,
yeah,
that's exactly right.
Now it's official. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty excited that I have kids. That I have kids and I can like go to the movies and see this.
They still need Bill Murray in that movie.
They should have Bill Murray. Well, Colin, I mean, if you guys didn't notice, I flipped when I saw it. If you watched the live show, my man's got a Toon Squad jersey on.
Yeah.
I was flipping, thought it was awesome. I see him walk away, just like a woman, view better from the back with a Murray on the back. I was like, oh, it's a Bill Murray Space Jam jersey. That's awesome, Colin.
Yeah,
I do have a nice butt and good taste
I didn't
in
mean
jerseys.
that. I meant the name on the back.
Right, Andrew. Right. All right.
Yo, but on some real stuff, I think you were almost about to get ganked for that jersey.
Yeah, dude. Everybody wanted that. I don't know if I'd be wearing that around anymore.
Yeah,
I'm careful where I wear it. Let's say I don't wear it around my neighborhood late at night.
Yeah, I was about to say.
East is a little bit of a safer town.
You can't rock the Toon Squad jersey in South Philly, huh?
Yeah, Colin, whatever you do, okay. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but this is for all the listeners as well that have never been in a city environment. If you ever get questioned on what size your shoes are, you respond, "Not yours." Okay?
And then depart.
As quickly as possible. All right? And the same thing goes for anything, okay?
Yo, that jacket is tight, son.
What size is that? Yeah, run that shit.
Scary movie.
Yeah, I love it.
All right,
Yo, that
let's get back. All right. So, John, I mean, we've talked plenty about the NFC East. Why don't we move over to the NFC South and give us a little breakdown of Ron Rivera and the NFC defending champions, Carolina Panthers?
Tonight they're playing against Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
And honestly, I think that's gonna be a good test to see, how the secondary is gonna work out. Because I know Bradbury and Zach Sanchez are, really working well, and they're rookies. So, the NFC South is looking like it's going to be maybe a little bit more competitive this year. Usually the NFC South is, it was a pretty, strong, one-sided victory, coming out of those divisions, even though it seemed like Jameis Winston was turning it on towards the end, and, they were coming into their own down there in Tampa.
They're a young team.
Yeah, exactly. So this year, my eyes out for them, but not only that, like you can't you can't really rule out Drew Brees too much. That's the one thing that I don't ever want to do, because knowing his tendencies from seeing him twice a week each year, is that he can show up and he can deliver a ball where it needs to be. And as long as the receiver has somewhat decent hands, it's going to be, it's going to be a hard headache for the defense, especially for a young cornerback crew, which I don't know. I have faith in them, though, because I've watched a few of the videos from their practices, and I've seen some preseason games, obviously, and I see a lot of promise coming out of these young guys, and these young guys being Bradbury and Sanchez. So those two, I see them jumping right into the mix, and the Panthers, claiming this division. But like I said,
who's the biggest threat?
Who's the biggest threat is Tampa Bay, because I think.
You think so?
Who do you think, Colin?
Atlanta has turned into not Atlanta, man. I'm sorry. They.
Yeah, I know. Sean wrote it. Sean went without Atlanta, but yeah, the same gist of it. I mean, I like Drew Brees, but I don't think that just getting rid of Rob Ryan is going to fix that defense. Rob Ryan is a bad NFL defensive coordinator, but the personnel there didn't get any better.
His brother seems to beg to differ.
Yeah, well, that's brotherly love right there. But, I've actually, it's tough to argue with you, John, because when you think about it, the Panthers are doing fine. The Falcons have been treading water for like 3 to 5 years, and the Bucs are the only team on the up, while the Saints are getting worse.
I mean, Atlanta started off 6-0, and what did they end up, 7-9 or something? You know what I mean? Like, it was terrible. But like, what really happened in Atlanta, and will Atlanta bounce back? Now, me and John, we seem to believe. First of all, let's close that part up. That Tampa is the biggest threat. Colin, who do you think is the biggest threat?
When I really think about it, I'm going to agree with you guys.
All right, okay.
This is like, I think the planets like realigned again, and
like they did when we were at Mother's.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think that's why we had such a wonderful experience and got to meet some interesting characters.
Some interesting young ladies.
See, I went non-gender specific and just went characters.
There you go. Yeah, they weren't quite ladies.
They were characters.
But
yes.
What happened in Atlanta last year? What is up with Matty Ice? Everybody thought they were really going to turn the corner when they had Gonzalez and they made that push towards the Super Bowl. Gonzalez finally won a playoff game.
Yeah.
How did they fall? They were never really at grace, but how did they fall from grace?
Well, honestly, in my opinion, having, Roddy White and Julio Jones for a while, eventually there's going to be enough game tape. Because when you go up against defenses like the Carolina Panthers and you go up against defenses like Tampa Bay, which, Lovie Smith was a defensive guy, so the emphasis will always be, his forte will be in defense. So given that you have two defensive-minded teams, there's a lot of game tape, and a lot of teams are going to watch that, and they're going to take their notes, and they're going to base their things off of the successes and the failures of those matchups. So, if anything, it exposed Atlanta's problem. But I think their problem for a while of the rotating backfield of somewhat big names, then maybe not such a big names, but now it seems like they got something solid now to work with, other than just throwing the ball. Although they lost Roddy White, obviously, but Julio Jones is still a monster. As anyone can remember from the last time the Panthers faced them, he caught that crazy catch over Josh Norman. Yes, I did not stutter, did not pause. I said Josh Norman caught it right over him, give me that, sir. That's my ball.
That catch knocked me out of the fantasy playoffs last year in the semis. I remember.
Yeah. You know what that did? It broke my heart. You know why? Because the Panthers lost that game, so that would have been a perfect season,
Now,
which would have been nice.
Atlanta, they're 2-1 on the preseason. They lost last night to Miami 17-6, but they did beat Washington and the Browns. But on a conference call today, Dan Quinn told ESPN that the first round draft pick,
Keanu Neal.
Yeah, Keanu Neal, the strong safety, he's going to be missing the first 3 regular season games. Now that's facing off against Tampa, Oakland, and New Orleans. Worst case, and they're thinking that would be the worst case scenario, but still, you never like to hear that right on the cusp of the season.
Exactly, because think about it. Like you just said, Tampa Bay and Oakland. So you got Mike Evans and you got Amari Cooper going up against maybe somewhat inexperienced players.
Well, I mean, the safety's Neal's a rookie. He's inexperienced, but not as dominant as a player.
Their defense, their defense in Atlanta has not been relevant since Dwight Freeney was on their line.
All right, okay. Well, you guys want to take a break from some of the real football, and let's talk some fantasy. Let's maybe talk some Madden, and then I want to tell you guys also, maybe we'll start there. I'm going to tell you guys about this other kind of league that I'm in that's been, I don't really know if anybody else does it or if it has a name, but basically my family has always been involved in a league where everybody gets together, 10 people, all the teams are open, you do a draft and you're drafting teams as a whole, okay? You're drafting teams as a whole, snake type draft, the same way as the NFL draft. Last place is first on the clock, champion is last, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what it is you get 3 picks in like the first round, basically. Do you know what I mean? And you get 3 picks, and then then there's a break, and then all the teams are available again. You could actually get the same team twice if you want it, but all the teams are available again, and then whoever has the most cumulative wins at the end of the season, top 3 places pay, and then it goes into like a suicide pool for the playoffs and Super Bowl as well. But I mean, so you end up with 6 teams.
It sounds like somebody sat there and was like, how can we make this so complicated?
It's not that complicated. It's just I don't know how to explain it. But
So you're
they've
just relying
been doing
on
it from like the
win-loss
70s.
record.
Yeah.
Win-loss records, yeah. They've been doing it, or actually I think before that, because not to dime out my mom, but my mom was born in 57, and I think they started doing it when she was like 13 or 11 or so. So they've been doing it since like 1970, we'll say.
Okay. So it's like,
Wow.
it was like fantasy before fantasy was
Yeah,
big.
yeah,
You guys
yeah.
were trendsetters.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. They ripped us off. We should sue whoever.
Whoever made up fantasy football.
Let's just sue someone. I want money for doing nothing.
Based in Oakland,
Sounds like
those darn Raiders.
America.
But John, what would you guys think? I mean, do you think what would be your strategy to win this league? What my strategy is, I put the teams in division order, and I rank them by division who I think will win the division, and I place them accordingly, and I try and get as many division winners, and then whoever I think as many division runner-ups. Do you know what I mean? And try and space them out so I don't have too many people in the same division.
Yeah.
Because then I'm playing myself, and that'll happen frequently. You'll get a win and a loss because, say, you have the Saints and the Giants. No matter what, you're getting a win and a loss.
Yeah.
And it kind of messes you up. What would be your strategy to take the league?
Well, honestly, I would like to go for, the teams that I feel are, have 3 top 10s in my mind, and then think of at least 2 sleepers. Now, if I was in your draft room and the Panthers were available first, I would totally take them. I know that sounds homerish, but honestly, the defense is stellar and the offense has only gotten better, and there's they're in a division that we just discussed that is fairly weak, minus the discussion of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So then I would put maybe try to get Maybe once again for a homer, the Oakland Raiders, because Derek Carr, Amari Cooper.
I targeted the Raiders. We got the Raiders.
Okay, good.
I said they would be a steal. Them or Minnesota.
Yes, and then I think for like two sleepers that people are going to be like, huh? The Bills. I still think that the brothers are going to pull out some wins, but the Bills will find ways to win this year. All right.
Yeah, that's all that matters is wins. Yes. It's just the record.
They'll find ways to win as long as you got a healthy Sammy Watkins. You got somebody out there that can grab the ball.
And don't forget, when you're getting to your third pick of the round, you're looking. There's only 10 teams left, so you're looking at the worst 10 teams.
Yes.
So no matter what, somebody's getting the Browns. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you're stuck there and you're sitting there and you're looking at teams. You got like the Browns left, Buffalo left, and maybe the Saints left or something like that. And you're gonna get a trash teams. You're gonna get trash teams sometimes.
Yeah. Not to. And then my second sleeper, which I don't think anybody's gonna agree with this one, but it is gonna be the Browns. I think the Browns have enough weapons that because think about it, Le'Veon Bell is gonna be gone for the first 3 games. Okay, those first 3 games are going to be the deciding factor of how that division is going to break down, because it's basically the division for the Steelers to win, because the Bengals are great, but honestly they got a shaky backfield. I know that hurts Colin's heart, because I know he went after Gio, but when the split between him and Hill is it's completely disastrous for fantasy. But for an overall win, which you're talking about, overall wins, it works in regular season. It just doesn't work in the postseason. So if you're talking about real time, then with these teams, then going into the playoffs, you got a big problem, because they're not gonna pull in any wins. Like I said, Cleveland has a sleeper element that I think that they might be able to pull out maybe a wild card slot for the playoffs in an actual contender in that wild card slot.
I wasn't able to go to this year's draft because it was last Saturday with mothers and all that going on. So I told my dad, him in a later round to target. I said if it ever came to a debate, I was like, try and get the Raiders and Minnesota, but I disagreed with John, and I told him to stay away from the AFC North in general, because I just think all those teams beat the crap out of each other, with the exception of the Browns, really. I mean, we're talking Steelers, Baltimore, Cincinnati. That is a hard division. I told him to stay away from the North because it's rough.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
But there is a lot of wins there, and more years than not over the last year was kind of an outlier for the Ravens, because they lost Forsett, they lost Flacco, they lost
the running back,
Terrell Suggs. They lost a lot of star players early on in the year.
That's
but if I was in your league and I was looking at teams that I don't think that people would be targeting, but I would have as my sleepers, I'm looking at teams that I think are better than they finished last year. So I'm looking at Baltimore. I'm looking at San Diego, who I don't think is a 4-win team. And I wish that they would sign Joey Bosa.
There's an
I
article
think the Chargers are a lot better than the 4-12.
He turned down some big money.
Yeah, the most of the last. I don't remember. I'm not going to try and quote it.
Yeah, let's just say he turned down some big money.
Exactly. It was the number one amount paid in a lot of categories.
Yes. But honestly, that speaks to the talent that they have on their defensive side. If you are jumping into a situation where you're, like I said in a few podcasts ago, that when you're a first round pick, you're expected to start almost day one and go right to work. And he went to work and realized what he was working with. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been on plenty of jobs where I was like, yo, F this, I'm walking out.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I get
done.
that at it.
I'm
I
done.
go from 0 to F this in like
Yeah.
0.3 seconds.
Yeah, I've walked out plenty of jobs, because it's like, if that's how you're gonna treat people, well then obviously I got to go.
All right, but now, Colin, let's move things along. Our little impromptu show we got going on right now, but let's kick it over to
Impromptively going 40 minutes for about right now, though.
fantasy football. The traditional fantasy football.
Yeah, let's talk about our league a little bit more, though.
Yeah,
'cause,
exactly.
Give
Let's
these
hear
guys a little introspective look on how we're talking crap to each other in these boards and via text, via group messages.
You get to be the fly on the wall.
Yeah,
of our
giving you
idiotic arguments.
Yeah, but honestly, there's a lot of people out there that play fantasy football, even if it's just casually for free on whatever app you choose. I'm not even gonna name drop because they're not paying me. Sorry.
Just don't use ESPN though, because they suck.
I plead the fifth to any comment. But what I will say is that fantasy is become a easy way to get people that once never knew the game of football to get into the game and understand how it scores, why it's important to do certain things. Then you start learning more advanced things as those basics, come into fall into place, I should say. But fantasy is one of the. Come on, man, fantasy has gone out into like MMA now. Like it's like it's like really fantasy MMA. Like that's
I was wondering how they do the fantasy NASCAR. What is
I
it,
don't
like,
know.
I think it would have to be. I mean, we could easily look it up, but I'm going to guess what I think it probably is. What do you think? Like laps led? Like you get points for laps led, points for final finish. I would assume.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
don't
I mean?
know. I don't know how that works.
Like, how do you score fantasy NASCAR? Because I know you do it.
No,
No, not that you do it. I know people do it.
I was about to make a comment, and then I realized I don't want to say that. So, this is the first time I'm gonna swallow a comment, guys. This is the first time. First time for everything.
First time for everything, they say.
So, Colin, what do you think about our Bedlam's Fantasy League?
I believe I'm going to win. I believe that
Now that you had
Julio
a second
Jones is
good
the
look.
truth. I mean, here's the thing. It's a PPR league, and it's a 10-team league. So if you could look at everybody's team right now and see, like, oh, you know what? That guy's team is pretty good. Because in a 10-team league, before the season starts, everybody's team is going to look pretty stacked because there's only so many players that are taken. Now, in a 12-team, a 14-team league, they start to get a little bit thinner, and you can make some more guesses here. Now, Sean, our good old buddy Sean Johnson, my brother, now he likes to talk a lot of crap in fantasy football, but as I mentioned in the Saturday edition of the live podcast, Sean has never made the playoffs in a fantasy league. Now, he's going to be the butt of a lot of jokes because of this, and he's off to a really bad start because Sean here drafted Dion Lewis and Tyler Eifert. We're talking tight end one talent and RB2 probably talent, especially in PPR and Dion Lewis, and both of those guys are going to be out until like week 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He should change his name to Team Don't Hurt Me.
But
Now, he might be lucky because he's got D'Angelo Williams there in his flex, so he'll have 3 weeks of likely RB1, maybe even RB2.
Because of the suspension.
Yeah, because of Le'Veon Bell's suspension. So D'Angelo Williams, Jamal Charles, and Eddie Lacy aren't a bad. Right, and Williams goes back to being just a handcuff. Dion Lewis will likely be coming back and hopefully being able to put up some kind of numbers. But his tight end slot is going to be a problem for 3 to 4 weeks because there's nobody on waivers that is going to be that interesting.
I was just about to say, I'm going to give you guys the top 3 the recommended waivers, and they got LeGarrette Blount, Shane Vereen, and Alfred Morris.
See, now, I'm not going to lie. I haven't opened up the fantasy app once since ESPN locked me out of it.
Although I have there's one target though that I see here in the wide receivers that I think, I know I'm talking about this a little. And correction, I did steal Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah, and I also have recently acquired LeGarrette Blount. So, Colin.
Hey, Colin, how about you? Any recent acquisitions that you want to speak of?
Anybody mid-show, Colin?
I just put in a waiver claim for somebody shouldn't have dropped.
So you're picking up my Jordan Matthews. Now, mind you.
Yeah, I'm picking up Jordan Matthews.
The reason
Jordan
why-
Matthews is like flex player, man.
Yeah, but check
poo-poo
this.
that.
Check this. My wide receivers are Antonio Brown, Brandon Marshall, Jordy Nelson. Like I do not.
I've never heard of
need-
Jordan Nelson, but
I
I
do
don't think
not-
he's very good. I like
I
Jordy.
mean, I also have Emmanuel Sanders, news to me, and Dante Moncrief. Yeah, no. What's his name?
Yeah, no, you're
Matthews
deep,
had to
you're
go.
deep.
And Corey Coleman.
Corey
so who needs
Coleman,
wide
Michael
receivers?
Thomas.
So who needs
Yeah.
wide receivers, guys? Like, let's.
Yeah, you don't
let's
really
get this
need a
moving
wide
right now.
receiver. You, if anything, you need to
No, I
use
said
them as
who-
trade B.
That's what I mean.
trade
Which
bait
one
them
of you
out.
guys needs wide receivers?
Oh, I don't
Well,
need
if I
any.
get
don't
this
think.
claim through on Jordan Matthews, I'm gonna be all set.
I think you got that claim, man.
I think yeah. Take a look at my squad. I'm sure if you look at my wide receiver core with Kelvin Benjamin and Amari Cooper leading the troops, I think you would. I think you'll agree that I don't really have to worry about too much when it comes to a wide receiver game. I'm not sure. I think it was. I think it was Team Bugs that needed some wide receivers, so maybe start hitting him up. But honestly, I feel really good about my team because I went with a lot of Panthers, and I feel really confident about this season because I don't know if I know I mentioned it a bunch of podcasts ago. I don't even know when, but this is Super Bowl 51, which to the Panthers organization, Sam Mills, the guy that instilled the keep pounding mentality, wore 51. So that keep pounding mentality needs to come through with gold this year because it's gold or nothing.
John, you're gonna hate me for this, right?
I know.
You're gonna hate me for
I know.
this.
Go ahead, say it.
But like the Panthers have been around for what 22 years or something.
Since 1995.
That's not like a historic. They weren't even there for the early Super Bowls.
No, they weren't. But you know what? There was a lot of add-on teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
But they were.
and such.
Yeah, but I mean.
And then
that,
what about the Ravens
But when did
who
Sam
jumped right
Mills
in and
play?
they won a Super Bowl?
But I mean,
against
you're
the
saying a name like
New York
Sam
Giants.
Mills as if I would say Sam Huff. But I mean, like, it's a little bit different era, don't you think?
Yes, it is, but him. But when he battled through cancer, he was very strong and.
Playing the cancer card on me.
What? Oh, playing
Trying
the
to get
cancer.
some sympathy out of me.
Sympathy
I
out
meant
of you.
because
What?
of his play on the field.
His overall play on the
Okay, but
field,
you're saying
and then
because of-
but then when he became a coach, he can't, he got cancer, but he fought through it, and that keep pounding, mentality was.
Yeah, I don't mean
really
to talk crap on the man. I'm just saying. You're saying it like it's a historic, like.
Oh no, I'm just
like,
saying.
Panthers only been in existence for 21 years.
I know, but at least it's vintage.
I guess it's vintage.
No, it's 20 years old
Yeah, I
or
know. older,
so it's vintage.
Yeah, but yeah. So,
That's for all the nostalgia heads out there.
Colin, who are you like really? Who you trying to talk some trash to in this league?
I might have to talk most trash to Sam because this is our sport. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez, you get like
this is our
you're
sport
like
now.
racist
We're,
with
when
it
we're
almost.
talking football and soccer.
yeah.
I'll let Sam,
Pull
but I'm
up
going to
the
do
news
this one for
feed
America
on this,
here.
please. Yeah, pull up the recent news on here because this has got.
So you're gonna pull this one for America, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, John and I are in a league with Sam and a bunch of his buddies from England, and frankly, John, I'll root for you just as much as I'll root for myself in that league. And then there's like one American woman from Texas in that. Yeah, we're doing this for America. We win all the golds. We win more silvers than anybody. We win more bronzes than everybody in the Olympics. And I think we should also win more fantasy football championships than anybody.
Yeah, well, when I'm looking at this right now, obviously you made the first, right? But I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves at least in the
The waiver wire.
The waiver wire. Sorry, just lost the word there for a second. But he's like,
it's all Sam Stocks. He's made 5 moves.
But I'm not surprised that he grabbed Jameis because Jameis wasn't drafted. To see him grab Roberto, like, I want you guys to call him out for being a homer as much as I am called out for being a homer.
I can see that.
All right, like I was about to say,
he's on his way.
and not only that, he one of the guys he dropped, Graham Gano. So he's homering it.
He has got no kicker right now. No, he picked up Roberto Aguayo, the rookie.
Yeah, so I just said exactly.
Who's been terrible. Yeah, yes. Oh my God. Oh my Sam.
I hope he's listening.
I might run around with 2
he's
kickers.
one crazy bloke. He is.
He is a crazy bloke indeed. But
bollocks.
Yeah. So. I would ask you guys like who has the funniest name, but I guess that doesn't really. No one really has too many other than ourselves. Like the people that are on the show, like nobody really has a name for them other than.
I think Sean and I do a. I think Andrew, you got to catch up with us because me, John, and Sean have good football
like
relevant puns. Yeah. You are what you are. You got second place in your league last year, but
easy with that. Yeah, there's an okay, whatever.
I'm sure there's an explanation for the name that I can't say on this podcast.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to make a big announcement that our fearless leader made a spell check error on his name. It is not with a C; it's actually SH. So.
I'll wait for him to spell that out in his head.
I don't know what we're looking at. All I know is I can't say my team
right
name.
there.
Exchange that first letter right there for SH.
That's not a spelling. I'm like, what did I spell?
What did I spell wrong?
No.
I got him. All right.
Yeah. Changing the word city
to
yes,
exactly.
another word, and it's
something
not
different.
kitty.
But honestly, I've seen some funny names. So I think one of the funnier ones was Gronky Kong. That was pretty good. Although I made some wonderful comments to that guy in our league, which he has yet to respond. I think he's afraid. I think he's like, he's American, so he might go like postal on me. I don't know. He might come.
He feels threatened.
Yeah, he feels threatened.
All right,
Sam, I don't know what's wrong with your friend. I don't understand why he wants to come after me like this. I'm just trying to play the football on the fantasies. But speaking of fantasy football, like I don't know about y'all, but Madden dropped on Tuesday, and not having a podcast to talk about it gave me a lot more time to play with it. So let me just tell you that this game is dope.
Let's talk about our new segment,
the E-Gaming Corner.
The E-Gaming Corner.
Yeah,
now this is where John gets to nerd out.
Yeah, well, I think there's other gamers in our crew that would agree that it's like, Madden's one of those games though that even the most casual gamer plays.
Yeah, Madden's a huge game on all consoles. I mean, everybody, if you have a system, regardless if you even like football, everybody seems to have Madden.
Indeed. It's definitely one of those games. It was just like kind of like Guitar Hero, like you could always count on somebody picking up something and playing it. It's always like a good pick up and play game.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But why didn't the Wii take off then?
Why didn't? Well, it did. It just didn't really have the graphics to keep the hardcore gamers, but what it did was it catered more so to the extremely casual gamer. So, senior citizens to, get mobility with less impact on their joints, flick your wrists.
Yeah, I don't want to play a video game that is like
that grandma could beat you in.
Marketed.
She's like, there you go, sonny, I got a perfect game.
Every game started to be like Wii Fit and Wii this and like it was just like health crap eventually.
Yeah, it's a way different
you
market.
Can burn your calories. Like, no, I don't want to burn my calories while I play video games.
The reason why I'm playing video games is because I want to become a fat person.
I want to sit here and eat corn-flavored chips.
But But John, what would you give a grade to this match?
Honestly, given the improvements that they've done, and I think the key improvements that they've done was the artificial intelligence on defense. All you people that are out there doing the same plays, same pitch plays, same everything.
I'm a screen guy.
Yeah. Your little bubble screen is going to start being met by a right or left outside linebacker after 2 to 3 tries, because the artificial intelligence is going to pick up on that play immediately.
Yeah, no,
so you really have to
up,
navigate the playbook.
I like to, when I'm cheating like that kind of, I like to load up the wide side and throw a screen to the running back.
I got you.
That's the way I do it. I load up the wide side, throw a screen to that side.
Yes, but now the physics engine seemed like it got a little bit boosted as well, so attributes are very important. And the biggest, I think the downgrade is the kicking game. I think a lot of people are going to complain about the kicking game because it's...
I hate when the kicking game
well, it's a 3-button... you push X or A for Xbox users.
To snap.
You snap it, and you hit it 3 times. So you snap, you hit, and then you get the accuracy. The first bar's for your power, the second one's for your accuracy. And honestly, I think
that's terrible.
Exactly.
Do you guys think they did that because the NFL game is making kicking more important too, with the
That's a good point.
pushing back of the extra point?
That's a good point.
But to also add to the win factor, you gotta aim with the left stick.
So you kick with
So it's like a kind of like quarterback stick back in like 2006.
I hate. What is that, when you can look through the face mask?
That was ESPN.
Oh, that
was ESPN, I think. ESPN football. Which dang, man, I know way too much.
No, that if anything, it would have been 2K.
Yes, I think they. I think you're right. Yeah, because there was ESPN the game as well. Yeah, that was a very short-lived game. That was only one and done. But the passing game is about what it was last year. It's not as ridiculous. So like if you have someone like Odell Beckham, someone like Kelvin Benjamin, you're not going to be able to press triangle and get the aggressive catch every single time. It's not like that. If
so there's no Bo Jackson in the
correct.
game.
The zone defensive schemes got a big boost, which was awesome because there was nothing that made me angry than guys that weren't staying in assignments, especially on zone defenses.
Now, what about the thing I liked about last year's game? Like, I play the games, but I'm not like ridiculous. But I play the games, and but I liked the defensive moves, the defensive line. How you could. How did that work last year?
The swim moves and the
but like you tap the button.
But here's a new addition, and it might entice you to maybe get into it. I swear EA needs to hire me as like a spokesperson or something now. But the gap assignments, especially for linebackers, when you're fighting against those those gaps against the running game, you got to shut them down. And when you do that, now you're going to be met with a little bit of a mini game. All right.
Okay.
And the mini game is just like how if you've ever played, God of War, you played any of those, Resident Evils, you're gonna have to mash the right button in order to win that battle. But what that has done is it made the running game as well a little bit more a viable option. So now when you are met in the hole against a linebacker, it's like you can really, your truck stick in a sense is that battle.
Okay. Now, do you have to be selected as the linebacker to do this?
You can change right into the people. They did make it a little, made it more of an emphasis, I should say, on holding L2 to do certain things, so that you have a more precision move. There's speed moves, which is your R2, and then the L2 is more precision stuff, more power, more precision.
Okay.
But overall, let's just put it this way: I haven't been beaten yet. I haven't been beaten yet.
How many games you play online?
Who are you playing?
I'm right now. I love Ultimate Team.
I never got into
because like it's you really have to. You have this hodgepodge team that you really have to, pull together and win, and it's harder than it looks.
It's like fantasy, right?
It's like playing. It's like basically the way I try to say it is, especially to my friends that no, I don't really partake in the Magic and the Pokemon and all that stuff, but it's pretty much like Magic in the sense that your deck is your starting lineup of player cards.
Yeah, I'm so not interested.
I know it sounds weird, right? But
You lost them.
yeah, but it's also like fantasy in the sense that you're picking your own players, but
I
you
guess
don't.
that's cool.
But you don't get to choose them as much because when you buy the card packs, it's just like how it was back in the day
Yeah,
when
no
we were
pack of
collecting
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
It's like opening up a pack of cards again. So
getting
it's
duplicates.
If anything, it's a little bit of nostalgia mixed in with the modern times for me, and I think that's a little bit why I like
That's
it.
cool.
So, and not only that, I played every single Madden. So,
When I was a kid, I used to like.
really
I wouldn't
did,
do this now. I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I used to like to just be the owner of the Giants and do a whole draft type.
the
thing.
franchise.
But
Yeah.
when you do the whole draft. Like,
Okay, yeah,
you know what I mean?
they had franchise mode.
Oh, was that franchise?
Yeah, that's
But
right.
I would also do franchise and be the real Giants, but I'd be like my made up Giants.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, you just added random players?
No.
Or did
There
you
was
do a
a-
draft style?
you could
Because
do it-
that's an online
no,
franchise.
but it was like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, they differ. Well, it's not online franchise, but
Yeah.
it would be franchise mode.
But yeah, it was when you could
Remember
like,
Be a Star?
You had no, I don't remember that, but you had to do a draft but it was a whole team. You had to draft 53 players.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
that was
Yeah. So that was
ridiculous.
GM mode. I'm sorry. GM
there you go.
mode.
I knew it wasn't
GM mode.
franchise. Yeah, it was GM mode.
Yeah, franchise GM mode.
With like an open draft.
Yeah, because there was a coach's mode and there was a GM mode.
Yeah, and then they got into like the player.
Yeah, and then they
thing.
got into player.
I never
That's
liked
when my player.
I never liked that. I mean, NBA is kind
It's
of
tough not being able to like control the whole team.
Yeah, exactly. Like NBA, I don't really mind playing it like that, but I hate the NBA games. I hate the whole. I hate the whole like they try and make it like Grand Theft Auto story mode. Like, that's stupid to me.
Yeah, NBA 2K is great, but yeah, the whole press conference bit is a little silly at the end of the player mode. But I'm a
mind it.
2K guy.
It's
I'm a
just
big
a
fan.
20-minute. It's like my wife will be yelling at me. I want to get a quick game in or something. I got to sit through a 20-minute talk conversation of these made-up characters talking about if I'm going to sign with Nike or if I'm going to sign with Jordan or screw over my friends. Like it's like an RPG game. I hate RPG games, but I don't know.
Hey, watch what you say, man.
No, I hate RPG games.
Wow.
Major hater.
Yeah, no, I hate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm
I
alright
wasn't
with
a
Tomb
big
Raider.
fan either.
Is Tomb Raider an RPG? It's like a
Not
quasi.
really.
No,
Not really. It's
not
a
really.
puzzle game. It's a action.
All right, well,
it's
I
like
like-
an
I like
action
Tomb
adventure
Raider.
puzzle game.
I like action adventure. I'm alright with action.
Uncharted is a little bit better. It's like kind of like
That's
Tomb
cool.
Raider with
Yeah, I'm alright with
steroids.
Uncharted. I'm not a hardcore gamer, but I play PlayStation though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this year's Madden though is definitely worth playing, and honestly, I think I might try to enter some of these Madden tournaments because at least online I'm undefeated. I've only played once online.
Oh shit! I'm undefeated.
Because, dude,
I'm
the game
1-0.
came out on Tuesday, and
I know.
I got a busy schedule. I don't know, about, I
But
know
you're
you all
prancing
have busy
around like
schedules
you're
as well.
13-0.
But
yeah, I'm
that's because-
undefeated.
Because I was doing all the solo challenges, and then when I jumped online, people rage quit, so they don't count.
Oh, and they just stop.
I had 3 rage quits that in
There's nothing worse than a rage quit.
Yeah,
I've never even heard that term before. but
rage quit is when you get beat so bad that you quit application.
Enrage.
Enraged. So exactly what the
It
words
is
say.
the weakest thing one can do. It's so weak.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yo,
weak.
Put up.
Tell me
You
this.
invested in this game. You finish it.
Now, my friend Derek, and he passed away a long time ago.
Okay.
But Derek was a big chess guy, and one of our other boys, I forget who it was, they were playing chess together, and he didn't want to play no more, and he went to go stop playing. Derek flipped out because he didn't push over his king. Like, it was the most disrespectful thing. Like, I don't play chess. I didn't know
Yeah,
that was
you
a
gotta
thing.
you gotta surrender
But
your
He
king.
didn't knock over his king, and Derek was like hardcore, like he kissed his girlfriend, like straight up, like, nah, dude, like, screw you. That's mad disrespectful. How you gonna not?
Wow.
Like, yeah, I was like, damn, dude, like, calm down. But yeah, I
He
just
went,
thought that was funny.
was that Bobby Fischer on him?
Or Johnny Mack.
Yeah, Bobby Fischer was actually a crazy figure in chess, though, and he was like kind of like a John McEnroe in a sense.
I'm not gonna lie.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know a damn thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I know how to play chess. I've learned.
Yeah, so EA Sports, if you want to kick me some, maybe
Submission.
commission points, how about this? Just give me some in-game, tickets and stuff, so I can continue playing Draft Champions, because Draft Champions is dope.
Dude, you are really selling this game. They're gonna have to start paying us.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this. So next time it's
I don't
like
want
the
your
next
digital-
e-gaming console
your
is
digital playing cards,
because there is
bro.
another EA release that
I
I'm
want the
looking
dead
forward
presidents.
to, and I think maybe we'll discuss. Maybe I'll discuss it when I get a chance to on this podcast again. But it's gonna be Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 is
I'm a Call
War
of
for
Duty.
One, World War II.
I'm a Call of Duty.
Battlefield 1, huh?
Yeah, Battlefield 1,
I
man.
don't know that.
Yeah, go and watch the trailers and of the live gameplay, because it's World War One, World War II type of era stuff. So,
Like Wolfenstein.
yeah, exactly. So you're in tanks, you're in open capsuled, war fighting planes, and it's just pure chaos. So it's gonna be awesome.
So go buy a PlayStation, but we're gonna get out of here. We
Or an Xbox One.
rambled on about some fun little nonsense, but for Colin on the phones, John, I'm Andrew Bedlam. We're getting the hell out of here.
Peace.